What if I told you that the world as we know it is rapidly heading toward its final chapter? Wars, pandemics, economic collapse, everything seems to be spiraling out of control. But what if these aren't just random events? What if they are fulfillments of ancient prophecies, signs that we are closer than ever to the end times? The book of Revelation unveils 10 shocking prophecies that many believe are coming true right now before our very eyes. And today, we're going to dive deep into each one of them. You cannot afford to miss this because the signs are clear and the time is short. Some of these prophecies are unfolding in ways most people don't even realize, and by the time they do, it may be too late. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see the world forever. Before we begin, let me ask you, do you believe we are living in the end times? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading what you have to say. Also, many people who watch our videos are not subscribed. So if you want to keep receiving powerful insights like this, make sure to subscribe now and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's get started. Imagine standing at the edge of history, watching as 4 riders emerge from the horizon, each carrying a different fate for the world. These are not just figures of legend, they are symbols of divine judgment, warning us of what is to come. The first horseman, clad in white, rides forth with a bow, conquering and deceiving. Some see him as a false messiah, others as the spread of the gospel. Either way, he marks the beginning of a great shift in the world. Could this be the rise of political leaders who promise salvation but bring only division? Or perhaps the flood of misinformation and deception that blinds people from the truth? Then comes the second rider, draped in red, wielding a sword. War, bloodshed, and chaos follow wherever he goes. We don't have to look far to see the reality of this prophecy. Global conflicts, civil unrest, and nations at the brink of war paint a grim picture of the world we live in. The third horseman rides in on a black steed, carrying scales in his hand. Scarcity and economic collapse take hold, leaving the poor to starve while the rich hoard what little remains. Inflation, food shortages, and financial crises have already begun shaking even the most powerful nations. And then, as if things couldn't get worse, the fourth rider arrives, sickly pale and accompanied by the grave itself. He brings plagues, disasters, and death on a scale the world has never seen. Just in the past few years, we've witnessed pandemics, natural disasters, and outbreaks of new diseases sweeping across continents. Could these be the hooves of the 4 horsemen echoing through our modern world? But this is only the beginning. The 4 horsemen are merely the harbingers of a much darker reality, one that will plunge the world into unparalleled suffering. And this is where we enter the next stage of prophecy, the Great Tribulation. What if I told you that the world as we know it is on the brink of its darkest hour? The Bible warns of a period unlike any other in human history, a time of suffering so intense that it will shake even the strongest believers. This is the Great Tribulation, a time when persecution, disaster, and deception will consume the earth. Imagine a world where faith becomes a crime, where those who stand for truth are hunted, silenced, and oppressed. It may sound like something out of a dystopian novel, but look around. Religious persecution is already a reality in many parts of the world. Christians are being targeted, silenced, and even killed for their beliefs. Governments and institutions impose laws that push faith out of the public sphere, forcing many to choose between their convictions and their survival. But that is just the beginning. Jesus himself warned of wars, famines, and earthquakes increasing in intensity, like birth pains. Matthew 24:7-8. Today, we see nations rising against nations, devastating earthquakes leveling entire cities, and food shortages affecting millions. Climate disasters, political instability, and a growing sense of hopelessness grip the world. And in the midst of it all, a powerful leader will emerge, the Antichrist, promising peace but delivering oppression. He will deceive many, offering solutions to the world's chaos, but at a terrible cost. And this is where we face one of the most chilling prophecies of all, the moment when the world is forced to make a choice: accept the mark of the beast or face the consequences. As the world spirals deeper into chaos, the need for control will grow stronger. In times of fear and desperation, people seek security no matter the cost. And this is where one of the most chilling prophecies of the Bible unfolds: the mark of the beast. These are not mere symbolic warnings. Each one brings a level of destruction never seen before. The first bowl afflicts those who have received the mark of the beast with horrible sores, a clear sign that allegiance to evil comes at a cost. Could this be a reference to new incurable diseases spreading worldwide? The second and third bowls turn the oceans and rivers into blood, wiping out marine life and contaminating the world's water supply. Today, we already see severe pollution, water crises, and marine die-offs happening at an alarming rate. But the judgments intensify. The fourth bowl makes the sun scorch the earth with unbearable heat. Sound familiar? Rising global temperatures, record-breaking heat waves, and uncontrollable wildfires seem to mirror this prophecy. Then, the fifth bowl plunges the Antichrist's kingdom into total darkness, a fitting representation of the spiritual blindness that has consumed the world. The sixth bowl dries up the Euphrates River, preparing the way for the final war, a chilling detail, considering the Euphrates is already drying up today. And then comes the seventh bowl: thunder, lightning, earthquakes, and destruction on a scale the world has never seen. This is the final warning before the ultimate confrontation between good and evil. And yet, in the midst of this chaos, the world will be forced into a choice to submit to the beast's rule or to resist at the cost of everything. This is where the prophecy of the mark of the beast takes center stage. As the world spirals deeper into chaos, the need for control will grow stronger. In times of fear and desperation, people seek security no matter the cost. And this is where one of the most chilling prophecies of the Bible unfolds: the mark of the beast. Revelation 13:16-17 warns that a time will come when no one will be able to buy or sell unless they bear the mark on their right hand or forehead. This mark isn't just a physical sign, it represents complete allegiance to the Antichrist and a rejection of God. But here's the question: could we already be seeing the foundations of this prophecy in the world today? Think about it. Our society is moving rapidly toward a cashless economy where digital transactions dominate. Governments and corporations are pushing for biometric identification, microchip implants, and AI-driven financial control. We already live in a world where your access to services can be denied with a single digital restriction. Imagine a scenario where refusing this mark means being cut off from banks, healthcare, and even food supplies. Many believe that the mark of the beast isn't just about technology, it's about control. It's about a system that forces people to choose, comply, or be excluded. And for those who refuse, persecution, hardship, and complete societal rejection. The Bible is clear: those who accept this mark seal their fate eternally. Revelation 14:9-10. But how will this power system be enforced? Who will be responsible for leading humanity into deception? The answer lies in the next prophecy: the beast and the false prophet, the two greatest deceivers the world has ever seen. If the mark of the beast represents control, then who holds the reins of this system? The Bible introduces two figures of immense power who will deceive the world and lead humanity into submission: the beast and the false prophet. Revelation 13:1-18. The beast represents a global political power, a government so vast and influential that it will dictate the laws, economies, and even religious practices of the world. This isn't just another empire, it's a totalitarian regime unlike anything seen before. A leader will rise, promising solutions to the world's crises, uniting nations under the banner of peace. But beneath this facade lies a brutal dictatorship, one that will demand absolute loyalty and worship. Then comes the false prophet, the spiritual enforcer of the beast's agenda. He will perform false miracles, deceive the masses, and lead the world into worshiping the beast as a god. Could this be a religious leader? A figure so charismatic and influential that people willingly follow him, believing they are serving a righteous cause? Today, we see how mass media, global influencers, and a seed-driven propaganda can sway millions with carefully crafted messages. The line between truth and deception is blurring, and many are already falling under the spell of false doctrines. And what happens when this system reaches its peak? When all the nations, rulers, and armies align under the beast's banner? That's when we step into the next great event, the Battle of Armageddon, the ultimate war between good and evil. As the world falls completely under the rule of the beast, a final confrontation becomes inevitable. Evil does not go unchecked forever, and the forces of darkness know that their time is running out. This leads to the greatest battle in human history, Armageddon. Revelation 16:16 describes this event as the moment when the rulers of the earth, deceived by the false prophet and empowered by Satan, gather their armies in the valley of Megiddo to wage war against God himself. Imagine the scale of this war, nations uniting under a single banner, weapons of destruction aimed toward the heavens, believing they can overthrow the divine. But this will not be a battle fought with human strength. Just when it seems that evil is unstoppable, the heavens will open, and Christ will return, leading the armies of heaven. Revelation 19:11-16. This is not a negotiation. This is divine judgment. The beast and the false prophet will be captured and thrown alive into the lake of fire, and their armies will be wiped out in an instant. No human empire, no technology, no weapon will stand against the power of God. Yet, even after this decisive victory, there remains one last stronghold of corruption, the very system that empowered the beast. And that is what brings us to the next prophecy, the fall of Babylon, the collapse of the world's greatest stronghold of sin. With the beast and the false prophet defeated at Armageddon, you might think the battle is over. But there's still one last stronghold of corruption left to crumble, the Great Babylon. Revelation 17:18 describe Babylon as the center of immorality, greed, and spiritual corruption, a system that has intoxicated the nations with its deceptions. But what exactly is Babylon? Some believe it represents a physical city. Others see it as a global system, a vast network of political, economic, and spiritual corruption that controls the world. A place where wealth and power are worshipped, where truth is suppressed, and where sin is celebrated. Does this sound familiar? Today, we live in a world where materialism dominates, where people trade their values for wealth, and where deception is widespread. But Babylon's time is up. Revelation 18:2 declares, Fallen is Babylon the Great. In a single moment, everything collapses: the wealth, the power, the illusion of invincibility. The world watches in horror as the system they trusted crumbles before their eyes. Economic crashes, political upheavals, and the downfall of once great institutions. Could we already be seeing the early signs of Babylon's fall? The prophecy warns that those who placed their trust in this system will weep and mourn, but those who stood with God will rejoice. With Babylon destroyed, the final reckoning is inevitable. The world as we knew it has fallen, and now all that remains is the ultimate judgment. No more nations, no more rulers, only souls standing before their Creator. Every person, great or small, must now face the truth of their actions. The time has come for the final judgment. With Babylon fallen and the forces of evil defeated, one last event remains: the final judgment, the moment where every soul stands before God. This isn't just a trial for the wicked. This is the day when every thought, action, and decision will be laid bare. Revelation 20:11-15 describes a scene beyond imagination, a great white throne before which the dead, both great and small, are resurrected and judged. There will be no more excuses, no more second chances, only truth. The book of life will be opened, and those whose names are not found within it will be cast into the lake of fire alongside Satan, the beast, and the false prophet. This is the final separation between those who chose God and those who rejected Him. But here's something many overlook: this judgment is not just about punishment, it's about justice. For centuries, the wicked have prospered, the innocent have suffered, and evil has seemed unchecked. But now, every injustice will be righted, every wrong will be answered for. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to escape the consequences of their actions? The truth is, no one truly escapes. Every deed, whether hidden or known, will come to light. But for those who placed their faith in Christ, this is not a moment of fear, it is a moment of redemption. And what comes after this? With evil wiped away, with sin and suffering no more, God unveils something entirely new, a world unlike anything we've ever known. This brings us to the final prophecy, the new heavens and the new earth. After the final judgment, when evil has been erased and justice has been served, God unveils His greatest promise, the creation of a new heaven and a new earth. Revelation 21:1 describes this moment. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. Imagine a world where suffering, pain, and death no longer exist. No more wars, no more sickness, no more tears. This is not just a restoration of what was lost in Eden, it is something entirely new, a reality beyond anything we can comprehend. In this new creation, God Himself will dwell with humanity. Revelation 21:3-4. No longer will people seek Him through faith alone. He will be among them, wiping away every tear, removing every sorrow. The old world with its corruption, injustice, and suffering will be completely erased. Can you imagine what that means? No more broken families, no more oppression, no more fear of tomorrow. The struggles of this life will be nothing but a distant memory. But this isn't just a promise for the distant future. It's a hope we can hold on to right now. The knowledge that our pain is temporary, but God's kingdom is eternal. And this brings us to the ultimate conclusion, the greatest truth of all, the victory of Christ over evil. After all the trials, the suffering, and the great battles, one truth remains unshaken: Christ is victorious. From the very beginning, the enemy sought to destroy, deceive, and corrupt, but his fate was sealed long ago. Revelation 20:10 declares that Satan, the great deceiver, will be thrown into the lake of fire, never to rise again. No more darkness, no more sin. Evil itself will be utterly defeated. Every prophecy, every warning, every act of faith has led to this final moment. God's kingdom is established forever, and nothing will ever threaten it again. But this victory isn't just something we wait for, it is something we already live in. Every time we choose faith over fear, truth over lies, and love over hatred, we are walking in Christ's victory. The battle may still rage in the world, but its outcome has already been decided. So what does this mean for us? It means we do not live as people without hope. No matter how dark the world seems, no matter how strong evil appears, we know the truth. Christ reigns, and His people will reign with Him. Revelation 22:5. This is the final message of Revelation, not one of fear, but of ultimate hope. A reminder that no matter what happens, the end of the story has already been written, and in the end, God wins. Now that you've seen these 10 shocking prophecies and how they are unfolding before our very eyes, the big question remains: are you ready? The signs are here, the warnings have been given, and the time for ignorance is over. The Bible is clear: these events are not coincidences, but a divine roadmap leading to the final days. So, what do you think? Which of these prophecies do you believe is already happening right now? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. If this video opened your eyes, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with your friends and family so they can be aware of what's coming. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future revelations. If you want to dive even deeper, check out this next video on your screen, where we uncover even more biblical mysteries that most people overlook. Thanks for watching, and may God bless you abundantly. See you in the next video.